everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and anything that I use today you can purchase from Stampin' Up! Through me at the address at the top of the screen. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I did. I got a lot of homework done. Not homework, work on my house and my bedroom and all that. It's nice to stay home sometimes and just do what you have to do, right? Today's project is, it's a little pouch box, I guess, for this Russell Stover Hot Chocolate Melt-Away Santas. So there's all little chocolate Santas in here, and you pour them in warm milk and you mix it up, and it's a nice hot chocolate. I got these for my family last year, and my son and my husband said it was the best hot chocolate they ever had. So after Christmas, what was left, I went to one of the Walmarts, and there was about 20 packages left, and I bought them because they were half off for them. They disappeared pretty quickly, but it's very good. The box itself measures 6.5 by 3 by 1. Alrighty, and I made like a little hanger thing here out of the little gingerbread cookies. I used the gingerbread dies to make these, and the gingerbread and peppermint designer series paper. I used the Stockings die for this and the Little Delight stamp set for the sentiments. Alright, I also used some double stitched real red ribbon and some matte decorative dots. Alrighty, so what we need for this. Okay, so we need a piece of real red cardstock that is 8.5 by 8.5. For the DSP, we need, you could do front and back. I didn't, because it's kind of a big piece. But you could do two. You could do front and back. I just did the front. So you need one that is 6 by 2 3/4. And one for the flap up here that is 2 3/4 by 3/4. Alrighty. We need this little tag from the Stockings dies out of Old Olive. Okay, now from the gingerbread dies, we need 2 of the snowflake insides. Okay, this is basic white, so we need 2 of those. And we need 4 of the backing, the outline of the gingerbread. Now you could also stamp this. I would say use the frosted gingerbread stamp set, and you could start with basic white and stamp cinnamon cider, but I wanted to use the dies today. So we need 4 of the outline, and when you stamp, the outline will cut out the whole thing, so you don't need this inner part. Okay, so we need 4 of them, and that's it. Alright, so let's start with our Simply Scored. We need our 8.5 by 8.5 piece of real red. And I'm going to, it doesn't matter, both sides are 8.5. So the first side, we're going to score at 1, 4, 5, and 8. Okay, now turn it a quarter turn to the other 8.5 side, and we're going to score at 1 and at 7.5. Okay, and that's it. And while I fold and burnish, I wanted to tell you about my special, where anyone in the month of November that places a order for $50 or more will get one of my homemade fabric storage baskets that are reversible. They're usually around 6.5 long by 3.5 wide, maybe 4 wide when you count up here, by 5 inches high. Alrighty, they're great little storage things, and they're great to put little gifts in or little activities for the kids. I have Christmas ones coming also, and I got this from Chicken Scratch, the pattern. Also, If you don't want that deal, if you would like to join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator or to just get this deal and let it expire, Stampin' Up! Right now, until the end of November, is offering $75 for $125 worth of merchandise that you pick in your starter kit, and you don't have to keep going. You can just take the deal. You can just let your 3 months expire and not keep going, and that's fine. But for those 3 months, you'll get 20% off of your purchases. So if you'd like to join my team, you can use my contact information below. And you can join on my website. There's a spot that says, would you like to join? Okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do our normal on the bottom. We're going to cut the rectangles straight and wedge the squares. We're going to get rid of this rectangle and wedge here. And I didn't wedge right there on that, so we don't need that one, I guess. I guess we're gonna, let me change that, sorry. I can wedge that. There's no big deal if I don't. But it's better, it goes together better if you do. All right, and then we're gonna get rid of this rectangle, this square, this rectangle, and this square, because we only need this one flat piece. Alrighty, so how we're going to start. Now, there is a skinny rectangle on the right-hand side. Okay, we're going to start by over on the left, though. There's a square here. We're going to cut up to the first score line right next to the square, and then we're going to wedge both sides of the square. Okay. I'm going to go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight to the first score line, skip this square, cut the rectangle over here up to the first score line, and then we're going to wedge the square that's in the middle. And I always put, well, sometimes I forget and you get a picture of my template, but on my blog I usually put a photograph of what this looks like after it's cut. All right, go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight, and then we're going to get rid of this piece, and at the same time we're just going to wedge up a little bit into the skinny rectangle. Okay, now we're going to turn it around 180, and this here is going to be our flap. Okay, now your skinny rectangle's on the left hand side, so let's start over here. We're going to get rid of this little rectangle here, so cut it straight and then just take a little wedge off of the piece above it. Okay, move to the other side of this rectangle, straight, other side of the square to cut this side of the rectangle straight, this rectangle straight, and then just take a little wedge out of each side of the square. Okay, go to the other side of the rectangle, cut it straight, and then wedge both sides of the square. Okay. All right. That's not right. I'm so sorry. We don't need any of this, so you really didn't need to do that. I'm so sorry about that. So, the only thing on here we're keeping is this. I'm so sorry. We're going to just cut all this work we just did off. We're just going to keep the flap that's closest to the skinny rectangle. Okay? Sorry about that. Got carried away. All right, now we're going to put our flap up here. Just want to get this little piece. Sometimes I get those little bumps because I don't complete it. All right. Now we need the detail trio punch, and we're going to round both corners of this top flap. Alrighty, and that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done scoring and cutting. Okay, now we need some tear and tape, and we're going to put it on this skinny rectangle close to the score line, but not on it. And I'm going to take the backing off with my Take Your Pick tool, roll back any tape that might have gotten over the line, over the edges, flip it over, flip the side with the tape first, and then the other side to meet it. All right, now this is the back of our box that where the seam is back here. So we're going to put the sides of the bottom in and the back, and then this is where we want to put our tear and tape close to the edge here. Okay. And then just make sure it's nicely squared off and press. And you can also put your bone folder in there and just press and make sure that the other side adheres good to it. Okay. All right, now we need our Russell Stover candies, and we're just going to put them in like that. And actually, we can just leave this for now, just for now. All right, now we need our piece of Gingerbread and Peppermint DSP that is 6 by 2 3/4. This is actually 6 1/2 long. So this should be 6 1/4, but this paper only goes to 6, so that's going to be covered by the flap anyway. So you should have about 1/8 of an inch border all around. Okay, so it's 6 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to do a project with this, with the Little Debbie's Christmas cakes, because that's what they look like to me. So I'm going to get those. Alrighty. Just use a liquid glue, which I like for this because I don't put things on right away usually. I have to kind of move them a little bit. Okay, and then we need the Detail Trio punch, and we're going to round both sides of one of the long edges. And that is going to go on our flap at the top here. Put that on, and that also has about 1/4 of an inch all around. Oops, my Minnie Mouse tissues. Oh, goodness gracious. I am getting everything all over. All right. Okay, now for the actual box. What we're going to do, it's not going to need to bend too much, all right, because it's full all the way up to here, okay? So just push with your pointers in the middle and squeeze. You can just kind of help it down. Squeeze so that the box comes together at the top, okay? And that's our whole box. Alrighty, so let's just let that dry for a little while we work on this. Okay, and for this, it's good if you have a silicone mat and a sponge. If you don't, we only need 2 of each right now. If you don't have a silicone sponge, you could use a wax paper, I guess, silicone mat. All right, so we want the back of the snowflake showing, and we're going to put some glue here. And we don't sell these sponges anymore, so you can use anything you want. And just hold the tip of the snowflake and try not to let it move so that it moves into where it has been glued. Okay. And what we're going to do is just put it onto the cookie part. And this looks like the icing. All right, we're going to just do that one more time. I'll move to a different spot. I don't think we need much more glue. Okay, I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to pounce it down with some glue. I'm just going to change so I can get this little piece. All right, I'm going to put it down right on here. And I love how this looks. Like the little icing piped on there. It's so cute. All right. Now, we need our linen string. This is for the little hanger that I put on the box. All right, we need a piece of linen thread that's about 4 1/2 inches. Or twine, or whatever it is you have. It doesn't have to be linen thread. You can use any of the twines that you have too. All right, and now we're going to use the back of these pieces. Okay, let's just do one at a time. And I'm going to put glue all in the edges, okay? Not the edges, but in everywhere. Alrighty? I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the twine. This could get a little messy. I'm going to put the twine down right about there. Okay, and then we're going to take the other side with the icing on it and put it down right over the twine so that it's sandwiched in there. Okay, now that goes on this side. I want to get away from any of that glue there. All right, now we're going to do the other one. And you want a couple inches in between, so probably 2 inches in between them. You can make it as long or as short as you like. I'm going to put some more glue on this one. I just want to get up to all the points really, especially the point where the twine is going to lay. We're just going to lay it down and just have a tissue for yourself or a baby wipe. And then we're going to put the part with the icing right down on top of it. Just try to get the twine to go right at the tip of that piece of the cookie. And you could actually write a little to from on here if you wanted to, or you could stamp one. And that's how I did the little hangers. And when this dries, the glue will just peel right off. All right, now we're going to do some stamping. And since it's photopolymer, I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm just going to put the label with the point up. And this is from Stockings dies. And I'm going to get some Tuxedo Black Ink and the Ho Ho Ho, which is from Little Delights stamp set. All right, and I'm going to put the hoe, the bottom hoe, close to the bottom of the tag. Okay. All righty, now that's done. Alrighty. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the tag right here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to make the bottom even with the bottom of the DSP and then come in about 1/8 of an inch off the left side. But you do it how you wish. Nothing's wrong. It's just your preferences. Just try to remember to keep the point at the top when you're stamping it. I have a little sparkle on there. I don't know what from. There we go. Okay. Now we need a hole punch. And what we're going to do is punch two. Yeah, the hot cocoa is down far enough so you don't have to worry about getting it. But I'm just going to punch two. This is a 1/8, but you could use any size you want. And I'm going to punch one about 3/4 in from each side. 3/4 of an inch. Well, that one's a little less, but it's okay. All right, and then I'm going to put a mark on the inside with the pencil and punch two more holes in this. I can't see it. There it is. All right. And then we need about 16 inches of the double-stitched satin ribbon in real red, which just happens to be the length of this pad. Oops, all my tools are flying. All right, now we're going to put way. I just want to straighten this. I didn't cut this real well. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not going to show at this point, so I'm just going to leave most of it alone. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ribbon in the inside and out the inside holes. Inside one and out the other. And then try to get it kind of even. And then just put it from the underneath to the outside of the ones at the back of the flap. All right, and then just squeeze it so that the flap will close, and then just pull your ribbons, and that'll kind of hold it for you to tie it. And then we're going to tie a bow. But first just do the ones over there, and then just lay your hanger on it before you actually tie the bow, okay? And then I'm going to tie the bow. Just gonna fool with it a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good. And then this will still move, you know, however you like. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim off the ends here. They get a little bit messed up going through the little holes, so if you have a bigger one, that's probably better for your ribbon. All right, now that's about it. Just for the final touch, we are going to get some of the Matte Decorative Dots. I'm going to use the sticky side of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to put one in the middle of each of these snowflake cookies. There's a little room in here too. You could probably stick a skinny pack of cookies in there, or one gingerbread cookie. And I'm going to put one on the top of the ho ho ho, right under the point. And that's it. I loved this project. I thought it was really cute. Took me all day, unfortunately. I was kind of blocked, but I got something out. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. My email is below. My Stampin' Up! Shop link is below. And the link to my blog, which will have all the measurements. And also below, I put all of the supplies that I used. Alrighty, have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Please subscribe. Bye.